General, congratulations. Thanks for your service. Really think it's been exceptional. Fully intend to support you. As you and I discuss, I have my own experience out in the CENTCOM AOR. I was recalled to active duty at the end of '04 and was there as a staff officer to General Abizaid until the middle of '06, so a year and a half. And have you had the opportunity to talk to General Abizaid or other CENTCOM commanders to get their advice prior to this hearing?
Senator, pending confirmation, I plan on talking to several of them.
Good. I would strongly recommend that. General Abizaid, in my view, is one of the most strategic thinkers we've had in our military in a long, long time. One of the things that I witnessed during that year and a half, huge concern, was the proliferation of EFPs. And, you know, we were in Iraq on a regular basis. General Abizaid was. I was with them during that time and saw this proliferation starting in Basra and into Baghdad. Can you describe very briefly what those were, what they did?
Senator, an explosively formed penetrator or an EFP had the capability to go through any of our military vehicles that we had at the time. I lost several friends and soldiers from them.
So you lost soldiers under your command to the EFPs?
I've lost soldiers to EFPs, Senator.
So I don't think this is highlighted enough, General, but I'm sorry about that happened to you. In 2007, the then Iranian ambassador to UN, Ambassador Zarif, who later became foreign minister, was quoted as saying the Iranians did not provide any EFPs to anybody, Iraqi Shia militias, and that the U.S. was lying and fabricating evidence about that. Who do we now know supplied Iraqi Shia militias these EFPs that killed and wounded thousands of Americans?
Senator, that came from Iran.
So sure, Zarif was clearly lying.
Yes, Senator.
General, what do you think the Iranians learned during that period? What's the estimate that you've heard of how many were killed and wounded? Best and brightest, by the way, in our country with regard to these EFPs that killed our soldiers, Marines, airmen, sailors.
Senator, I'm not sure the exact number, but I believe it's around, the number is somewhere around 400.
400 and several thousand wounded, correct?
Yes, Senator.
What do you think the Iranians learned during that time as they were killing our troops? Zarif was lying to the world, and yet there didn't seem to be any kind of retaliation from the United States.
Senator, I'm not certain what they learned from that.
You think it was good that there was no retaliation at the time, or we didn't make them pay for the deaths of Americans?
Senator, I think we were fighting the insurgency at the time. I can't presume to understand what the Iranians were thinking at the time.
I'll just give you my sense. I think that they thought that they could kill Americans with impunity and not pay a price. And to the contrary, the price that they didn't pay, but they were actually rewarded with the JCPOA. The Secretary of State John Kerry negotiated with Zarif, one of the many outrages, I think, under Kerry's tenure, to literally negotiate and almost become buddies with them. You saw this other thing that Kerry and Zarif were talking a couple years ago where Kerry was providing what looked like classified information, literally with a guy with American blood on his hands to get the JCPOA. I talked to President Trump about this a number of times. Do you think that we were able to regain deterrence after the United States killed the Quds Force leader, Soleimani?
Senator, I do.
Did you agree with that strike?
Senator, I don't think any adversary should be able to kill Americans with impunity. Given the intelligence at the time, I would have taken the strike.
So if you're confirmed, and I hope you will be confirmed, will you commit to this committee to work hard to keep that deterrence that I think we've actually kill Americans the way they've had a history in the past of doing that with impunity, will your advice to the president be to make sure that there's retaliation so they pay a price?
Senator, I believe my job is to provide options that have the civilian leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'll have some more questions.